Get down. Now. The cafe window exploded. Jasmine hit the floor as glass rained down around her. Nobody fucking moves. Chairs crashed. People screamed. Boots stopped right beside her head. You. Get up. She looked up. A gun. Inches from her face. Rough hands wrenched her arm behind her back. Pain ripped through her shoulder. Let's go. Please, I didn't do anything. Shut up. They dragged her outside. A black van waited at the curb. She fought. He slammed her face into the metal. Are you Jasmine Carter? Yes. Good. Get in. Inside the van, a man in a dark suit sat across from her. Calm. Korean. Mid-30s. A dark tattoo curved up the side of his neck, disappearing beneath his collar. He didn't look afraid. Your ex-boyfriend died 3 months ago, he said. Her stomach dropped. He turned his phone toward her. A photo. Her little sister. Walking. Smiling. Yesterday. 6 months, he said. That's all I need. For what? He smiled. It was cold. That depends on how fast you learn to obey. The van stopped. JFK Airport. A briefcase. A passport. A one-way ticket. Gate 47. 70 minutes. I'm not going with you. You're going alone. He leaned closer. Your sister's life depends on it. She had no idea what was waiting for her in Seoul, but she knew, deep in her bones, that she wasn't coming back. Before we dive in, subscribe and tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing this dark romance community stretch across cities, countries, and time zones. Because what Jasmine walked into in Seoul, she never saw coming. The flight was 14 hours. Jasmine didn't sleep. She couldn't. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the photo of her sister, Marley, 19 years old, pre-med at Howard, bright future. No idea her older sister's past had just swallowed both their lives whole. Jasmine pulled out her phone. No service over the Pacific. The messages she'd sent before boarding sat unread. Marley, I'm going to be out of the country for work. 6 months. I'll explain when I get back. Don't worry. I love you. A lie. But better than the truth. Better than telling her little sister that their deadbeat ex-convict of a father wasn't the only man in Jasmine's life who'd left destruction in his wake. Marcus. Dead 3 months. She hadn't known. They'd been broken up for over a year. She'd blocked his number, moved apartments, cut every tie. He was a mistake she'd worked hard to forget. Now he was a ghost with a bill. 500 million won. She'd had to Google the conversion. Almost $400,000 to the Korean Mafia. The flight attendant passed by with a warm smile. Jasmine didn't smile back. She stared out the window at the endless black ocean below and wondered how a man she'd spent 2 years trying to erase had managed to destroy her from beyond the grave. Incheon Airport was massive. Steel and glass stretched in every direction. Travelers moved in rivers, businessmen, families, students with backpacks, covered in K-pop pins. Jasmine walked through customs on autopilot. The officer barely glanced at her passport. She collected her single suitcase. Outside arrivals, the air was cool. October in Seoul. The city sprawled in the distance, neon and concrete blurring together under a hazy sky. A black car idled at the curb. The back door opened. A woman stepped out. Early 30s, sharp suit, hair pulled into a severe bun. Her expression was unreadable. Jasmine Carter? Jasmine nodded. Get in. The woman's English was flawless, accent faint. Jasmine got in. The woman slid in beside her. The driver pulled away from the curb without a word. My name is Minji, the woman said. I work for Mr. Kang. You'll be working for him too. The man from the van? Minji's expression didn't change. No, that was Hyunwoo, Mr. Kang's associate. You'll meet Mr. Kang tonight. What am I supposed to be doing for 6 months? Minji glanced at her, cold appraisal. Whatever Mr. Kang tells you to do. Jasmine's stomach twisted. I'm not... You're not what? Minji interrupted. A prostitute? A drug mule? Relax. Mr. Kang doesn't need you for that. Then what does he need me for? Minji turned away, looking out the window as the city blurred past. You'll find out soon enough. The silence that followed was suffocating. They drove through Gangnam, sleek high-rises, luxury boutiques, streets lined with German cars and women in designer heels. Everything gleamed. Then they turned down a narrower street. The buildings grew older, closer together. The car stopped in front of a plain grey building with no signs, no indication of what was inside. Minji got out. Jasmine followed. Inside, the contrast was immediate. Marble floors, soft lighting, expensive art on the walls. A receptionist sat behind a minimalist desk, her makeup perfect, her bow precise as they passed. They took an elevator to the top floor. The doors opened into a hallway lined with dark wood and silence. Minji stopped at a door. She knocked once. A voice answered in Korean. Minji opened the door and gestured for Jasmine to enter. The office was massive. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. A desk sat near the far wall, polished and bare except for a single glass of whiskey. Behind the desk stood a man, tall, late 30s, tailored black suit, dark hair swept back. His face was sharp, beautiful in a way that felt dangerous. He looked at Jasmine the way someone looks at a painting they've already decided to buy. Sit, he said. His English was perfect. Jasmine didn't move. I said sit. His tone didn't change, but something in the air shifted. Minji placed a hand on Jasmine's shoulder, firm, not gentle. Jasmine sat. The man walked around the desk. He sat on the edge of it, looking down at her. My name is Kang Ji-hoon, he said. Your ex-boyfriend owed me 500 million won. He died before he could pay. You're here to settle his debt. I didn't know about the debt. I had nothing to do with whatever he was involved in. Ji-hoon smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. I don't care. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a folded paper. He handed it to her. A contract, in Korean and English. She scanned it. Her hand started shaking. Employment agreement. Term, 6 months. Duties, as assigned by Kang Ji-hoon. Compensation. Debt forgiveness upon satisfactory completion. You can't be serious. I'm always serious. This is insane. I'm not signing this. Ji-hoon tilted his head. Then your sister dies. The room went cold. You're bluffing. He pulled out his phone, turned it toward her. A video. Molly, walking across Howard's campus, laughing with a friend. The timestamp was from this morning. I have 3 men watching her, Ji-hoon said. If you refuse, she'll be dead within 24 hours. If you run, she'll be dead within 12. If you tell anyone, the police, your family, anyone, she'll be dead within 6. Jasmine's vision blurred. Why are you doing this? Ji-hoon leaned closer. His cologne was subtle, expensive. Because I can. He placed a pen on the table in front of her. Sign. Her hand moved. She didn't remember deciding to do it, but she signed. Ji-hoon took the contract. He folded it carefully and slipped it back into his jacket. Good girl. Jasmine wanted to scream. She wanted to throw the chair at his head, but all she could do was sit there drowning. Minji will take you to your apartment, Ji-hoon said. You start work tomorrow. What work? He smiled again. You'll see. Minji led her back to the elevator. Jasmine's legs felt numb. Outside, the city looked different, sharper, colder. A cage she hadn't seen closing around her until it locked. The apartment was in Itaewon. A neighborhood Minji explained was international. Foreigners, expats, military personnel from the nearby base. The building was modest. The apartment itself was small but clean. 1 bedroom, a kitchen with a 2-burner stove, a bathroom with a shower. So tiny, Jasmine wasn't sure she'd fit. Minji handed her a phone. This is your work phone. Keep it on you at all times. If Mr. Kang calls, you answer. If he texts, you respond immediately. Jasmine took the phone. It felt like a leash. What happens if I don't? Minji's expression didn't change. Your sister dies. She left without another word. Jasmine stood alone in the apartment. The silence pressed in from all sides. She walked to the window. Itaewon stretched below. Neon signs flickered to life as dusk settled. Music drifted up from the bars. Laughter. Life. Jasmine pressed her forehead against the glass, and for the first time since the cafe window exploded, she let herself cry. The work phone buzzed at 6 a.m. Jasmine jolted awake. She grabbed it. A text. In English. Car will pick you up at 7. Dress professionally. JH. She stumbled into the shower. The water was scalding. She stood under it until her skin turned red. In the tiny closet, she found clothes. Blouses. Slacks. A blazer. All in her size. He'd planned this. Every detail. She dressed, pulled her hair into a bun, looked at herself in the mirror. She barely recognized the woman staring back. The car arrived at exactly 7 a.m. The same driver from yesterday. He didn't speak. They drove back to Gangnam, back to the grey building. This time, Minji was waiting in the lobby. Follow me. They took the elevator, but not to Ji-hoon's office. They stopped on the 3rd floor. Minji led her down a hallway lined with frosted glass doors. She stopped at one and opened it. Inside was a conference room, a long table, leather chairs, a projector screen on the far wall, and Ji-hoon. He sat at the head of the table, reviewing something on his laptop. He glanced up when they entered. Sit. Jasmine sat. Minji stood by the door. Ji-hoon closed his laptop. Your job, he said, is simple. You'll accompany me to meetings, dinners, events. You'll smile. You'll be polite. You'll speak when spoken to. And you'll keep your mouth shut about everything you see and hear. That's it? That's it. Jasmine frowned. Why do you need me for that? Ji-hoon leaned back in his chair. Because I do. There was something in his eyes. Something dark and patient. Like he was waiting for her to ask the right question. She didn't. Understood? Jasmine nodded. Good. We have a dinner tonight. Minji will take you shopping for something appropriate. I have clothes. Not for where we're going. He stood, walked past her, paused at the door. One more thing, he said. In public, you'll call me Ji-hoon Si, not Mr. Kang. We're colleagues, understand? Yes. He left. Minji gestured for Jasmine to follow. Shopping in Gangnam was surreal. Minji took her to a boutique so exclusive there was no sign on the door. Inside, a saleswoman greeted them in rapid Korean. Minji responded, then turned to Jasmine. Pick a dress. For what kind of dinner? The kind where you don't speak unless he tells you to. Jasmine looked around. The dresses were beautiful. Silk, satin, cuts that looked like they cost more than her rent back in Brooklyn. She picked a black dress. Simple, elegant, long sleeves, hem just below the knee. Minji nodded. Good choice. The saleswoman wrapped it in tissue paper and placed it in a branded bag. Minji handed over a black card without blinking. They left. On the street, Jasmine finally asked the question she'd been holding back. Why me? Minji kept walking. What do you mean? He could have hired anyone, a professional, someone who already knows this world. Why bring me all the way from New York? Minji stopped. She turned to face Jasmine. For the first time, her expression softened. Just slightly. Because you're exactly what he needs, Minji said, and he always gets what he needs. She turned and kept walking. Jasmine stood there. The city moved around her, and she realized, with a sickening clarity, that she wasn't here to pay off a debt. She was here because Ji-hoon wanted her here. The dinner was at a restaurant in Cheongdam-dong. Private room, low lighting, a table set for 8. When Jasmine and Ji-hoon arrived, 5 men were already seated. They stood when Ji-hoon entered, bowed. He bowed back. Then he introduced Jasmine. This is Ms. Carter. She'll be working with me for the next few months. The men stared, not subtle, One of them smiled, said something in Korean. The others laughed. Ji-hoon's expression didn't change, but when he responded, his tone was ice. The laughter stopped. He gestured for Jasmine to sit beside him. She did. The dinner began. Conversation flowed in Korean. Jasmine understood nothing. She sat quietly, ate when food was placed in front of her, smiled when someone looked her way, but mostly she watched Ji-hoon. He was different here, commanding, cold. Every word he spoke seemed to carry weight. The men at the table deferred to him, laughed at his jokes, agreed with his opinions. He was in control, absolutely. Halfway through the meal, one of the men addressed Jasmine directly, in English. "You are American?" "Yes." "First time in Korea?" "Yes." "You like it?" Before she could answer, Ji-hoon cut in Korean. Sharp. The man went quiet. He didn't speak to Jasmine again. After dinner, they left. The car ride back to Itaewon was silent. Ji-hoon sat across from her, checking his phone. Finally, Jasmine spoke. "What did he say to me?" Ji-hoon didn't look up. "Nothing important." "And what did you say to him?" Ji-hoon glanced at her. "I told him you weren't his concern." "Why?" "Because you're not." He went back to his phone. Jasmine looked out the window. The city blurred past. She was starting to understand. This wasn't about the debt. This wasn't about Marcus. This was about something else entirely. If you're still here, this isn't just a story. It's someone's life. Maybe yours. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, because what happens next changes everything. The weeks bled together. Jasmine accompanied. Ji-hoon everywhere. Dinners, meetings, a gallery opening in Samcheong-dong, a private poker game in a penthouse overlooking the Han River. She learned to read the room, to stay quiet, to disappear when needed, but she also learned to watch. Ji-hoon's world was brutal. Men came to him with problems. He solved them, usually with money, sometimes with violence. She never saw it directly, but she heard the whispers, saw the bruises on the men who worked for him, felt the fear in the eyes of the people who owed him. And through it all, Ji-hoon watched her. Not the way the other men did, not with hunger or curiosity, with something quieter. Possession, like she was already his. One night, after a particularly tense meeting, they sat alone in his office. He poured 2 glasses of whiskey, handed one to her. "Drink." She took it. "You're doing well," he said. "Thank you." "Better than I expected." "What did you expect?" He smiled. Resistance, anger, maybe tears. Would that have changed? Anything? No. He took a sip, but it would have been less interesting. Jasmine set her glass down. "Can I ask you something?" "You can ask. I may not answer." "Why am I really here?" Ji-hoon looked at her. Long, steady. "Because I wanted you here." "That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting." He stood, walked to the window. "Your 6 months will be over soon," he said. Jasmine's heart jumped. 2 more months. And then? Then you're free. She didn't believe him. "You'll let me go? Just like that?" Ji-hoon turned. His expression was unreadable. "If that's what you want." "Of course it's what I want." "Is it?" The question hung in the air. Jasmine stood. "I want to go home. I want my life back. I want to forget this ever happened." Ji-hoon stepped closer. "Liar." "Excuse me?" "You don't want to go back. You don't have anything to go back to." Jasmine's chest tightened. "You don't know anything about me." "I know everything about you." He pulled a folder from his desk, dropped it in front of her. She opened it. Her hands shook. Inside were photos. Her apartment in Brooklyn, empty, furniture gone. Her job, the cafe where she'd worked, a new girl behind the counter, her sister, happy, thriving, safe, moving on without her. "You've been gone 2 months," Ji-hoon said. and no one is waiting for you to come back. Jasmine's vision blurred. You did this. I did nothing. You were already disappearing before you ever got on that plane. He closed the folder. I just made it permanent. She wanted to scream, to hit him, but all she could do was stand there, drowning in the realization that he was right. She had nothing. No job, no apartment, no ties. She'd spent years running from her past, and now her past had swallowed her whole. Ji-hoon stepped closer. His voice dropped. You can hate me, he said, but you can't leave. Why not? Because I won't let you. The truth settled between them, heavy, final. The 6 months was always a lie, she whispered. Ji-hoon didn't deny it. Yes. Then what am I to you? He reached out, brushed a strand of hair from her face. His touch was gentle, terrifying. Mine. Jasmine pulled away. I'm not yours. Not yet. He turned back to the window. But you will be. That night, Jasmine lay awake in her apartment. The work phone sat on the nightstand, silent, watching. She thought about running. But where would she go? Ji-hoon had men everywhere. He'd proven that. She thought about telling someone, but who would believe her? And even if they did, what could they do? Ji-hoon operated in shadows. He owned people, politicians, police, judges. He was untouchable, and she was trapped. The weeks passed. Ji-hoon's attention grew heavier. He started calling her late at night. Not for work, just to talk, to hear her voice. At first, she kept the conversation short, professional. But slowly something shifted. She found herself answering his questions about her life, her childhood, her dreams, things she hadn't told anyone. And he listened. Really listened. It was disarming, dangerous. One night, he asked her about Marcus. Why did you stay with him? Jasmine hesitated. I thought I loved him. And? And I was wrong. What changed? She closed her eyes. He hit me. The line went quiet. Once, she added. Just once. But that was enough. Ji-hoon's voice when he spoke was different, colder. Did he apologize? Yes. Did you believe him? I wanted to. But you left. I left. Another silence. Then Ji-hoon said, Good. Jasmine frowned. Why do you care? Because you deserve better. Better than Marcus? Or better than you? He laughed, soft. I never claimed to be good, Jasmine. The way he said her name, it sent a chill down her spine. Then what are you? Honest. You're a liar. You told me I'd be free in 6 months. I never promised freedom. I promised an end to the debt. And I kept that promise. Your debt is paid. Then let me go. I can't. Why not? Because I don't want to. The honesty was brutal. Jasmine's chest ached. You can't just keep me here. I already am. She hung up. The phone buzzed immediately. She ignored it. It buzzed again. And again. Finally, she answered. What? Don't hang up on me again. His voice was calm, but there was steel beneath it. Or what? Or I'll come to your apartment right now and we'll finish this conversation in person. Her breath caught. You wouldn't. Try me. She didn't. The silence stretched. Finally, Ji-hoon sighed. I'm not going to hurt you, Jasmine. Then what are you going to do? Keep you. The simplicity of it was suffocating. I'm not a thing you can keep. No, he agreed. You're not. But you're here, and you're not leaving. So we might as well stop pretending otherwise. Jasmine closed her eyes. I hate you. I know. I'll never stop hating you. That's fine. Then why do you want me here? Ji-hoon's voice dropped. Because when I saw your picture, something in me decided you were mine, and I've never been good at letting go of what's mine. The call ended. Jasmine sat in the dark, her heart pounding. She didn't know whether to scream or cry, so she did both. The turning point came in December. Jasmine had been in Seoul for 3 months. The city had started to feel less foreign. She'd learned basic Korean phrases, navigated the subway, found a small cafe in Itaewon where the owner spoke English and didn't ask questions. But she still felt like a ghost, existing, not living. One evening, Ji-hoon called. "Pack a bag. We're leaving tomorrow." "Where?" "Jeju Island. 3 days." "Why?" "Because I said so." He hung up. Jasmine stared at the phone. Jeju Island. She'd read about it. Volcanic. Beautiful. A honeymoon destination. Her stomach twisted. The next morning they flew south. The island was stunning. Black sand beaches, dramatic cliffs, fields of green stretching toward the ocean. They stayed in a villa overlooking the sea. Private. Isolated. The first night they had dinner on the terrace. The sunset painted the sky in shades of orange and pink. Ji-hoon poured wine. "Why did you bring me here?" Jasmine asked. "Because I wanted to." "That's not a reason. It's the only reason I need." She took a sip of wine. "You know this doesn't change anything." "Doesn't it?" "I'm still your prisoner." "Are you?" Jasmine looked at him. "What else would you call it?" Ji-hoon set his glass down. "A choice. I didn't choose this. You chose to get on the plane. You chose to sign the contract. You chose to stay. You threatened my sister. And yet here you are, 3 months later. She's safe, thriving. You could have run. You didn't." Jasmine's throat tightened. "Because you'd kill her. Would I?" The question landed like a stone. Jasmine stared at him. "What are you saying?" Ji-hoon leaned back. "I'm saying I've never had any intention of hurting your sister." The world tilted. "You're lying." "I'm not." "Then why?" "Because I needed you to come, and I needed you to stay. The threat was the only way to make that happen." Jasmine stood. Her chair scraped against the stone. "You're telling me this was all for nothing?" "Not for nothing." "Then for what?" Ji-hoon stood too. He stepped closer. "For this." He kissed her. Jasmine froze. His lips were warm, gentle. She should have pulled away, should have slapped him. But she didn't. Because somewhere, buried beneath the anger and fear and exhaustion, was something else. Something she didn't want to name. When he pulled back, his eyes searched hers. "Tell me you don't feel it," he said. "Feel what?" "This." His hand cupped her face. "I hate you," she whispered. "I know. I'll never forgive you. I don't need you to." "Then what do you need?" "You. Just you." The honesty broke something in her. She kissed him back, and this time she didn't stop. That night, Jasmine crossed a line she'd sworn she never would. In the villa, with the sound of waves crashing below, she let Ji-hoon touch her. Let him pull her close. Let him whisper her name like a prayer. And when it was over, she lay beside him in the dark, staring at the ceiling, wondering when she'd stopped being his prisoner and started being something worse. Complicit. The days on Jeju blurred together. They walked the beaches, ate fresh seafood at Pojangmacha tents, explored lava tubes and waterfalls. And at night, they returned to the villa, to each other. Jasmine stopped asking when she could leave, because she wasn't sure she wanted the answer anymore. On their last night, they sat on the terrace again. The stars were impossibly bright. "What happens when we go back to Seoul?" Jasmine asked. Ji-hoon looked at her. "What do you want to happen?" "I don't know." "Yes, you do." She closed her eyes. "I want to hate you." "But you don't." "I should." "But you don't." She opened her eyes. "This isn't love." Ji-hoon smiled. "No, it's not." "Then what is it?" "Survival." Jasmine looked away. "That's a terrible answer." "It's an honest one." They sat in silence. Finally, Jasmine spoke. "I'm not staying forever." "I know. I mean it. I believe you. But you're not going to let me go." "No." "Why?" Ji-hoon reached for her hand. "Because the moment I saw your picture, I knew you were mine. And I've spent my entire life taking what's mine and keeping it. I'm not a possession. No, you're worse. What does that mean? He kissed her knuckles. It means you're the only thing I've ever wanted that I can't buy or take by force. And that terrifies me. Jasmine's heart ached. You're insane. Probably. And I'm insane for being here. Definitely. She laughed. It was the first real laugh she'd had in months. Ji-hoon smiled. There it is. What? The reason I wanted you here. They flew back to Seoul the next day. The city felt different. Colder. Louder. Reality crashing back in. At the apartment, Jasmine unpacked. The work phone buzzed. A text from Minji. Meeting tomorrow, 10 a.m. Jasmine sighed. Back to work. But that night, Ji-hoon called. Can I see you? You saw me all weekend. I want to see you again. Ji-hoon, please. The word hung between them. Jasmine closed her eyes. Okay. He arrived 30 minutes later. They didn't talk. He pulled her close. And for a little while, the world outside disappeared. But the next morning, reality came crashing back. Jasmine woke to her personal phone ringing. Not the work phone. Her real phone. The one she hadn't touched in weeks. She grabbed it. A US number. Unknown. She answered. Hello? Jasmine Carter? Yes? This is Agent Park with the FBI. We need to talk about Kang Ji-hoon. Her blood went cold. I don't know what you're talking about. Ms. Carter, we know you're in Seoul. We know you're working for him. And we know you're in danger. I'm not. We've been investigating Kang Ji-hoon for 2 years. Money laundering, human trafficking, murder. We have enough to bring him down. But we need your help. Jasmine's hands shook. I can't help you. You can. And if you don't, you'll go down with him. I haven't done anything. You've been present at meetings, dinners, transactions. That makes you an accessory. I was forced. Then help us prove it. Testify. We'll protect you. Jasmine sank onto the bed. He'll kill me. Not if we get to him first. You don't understand. He has people everywhere. So do we. Agent Park's voice softened. Ms. Carter, I know you're scared, but if you don't help us, more people will die. And eventually, one of them will be you. Jasmine closed her eyes. I need time. You have 48 hours. After that, we're moving in, with or without you. The line went dead. Jasmine sat in the silence, her heart pounding. She thought about Ji-hoon, the way he looked at her, the way he touched her, the way he'd lied to her from the very beginning. And she thought about Mali, safe, alive, free, because Jasmine had sacrificed everything to keep her that way. She thought about the women she'd seen in Ji-hoon's world, scared, controlled, trapped, and she realized she wasn't special. She was just another possession, another thing he'd taken because he could. The work phone buzzed, a text from Ji-hoon. I miss you. Jasmine stared at it, and for the first time she didn't text back. The next 48 hours were agony. Jasmine went through the motions, meetings, dinners, smiles. But her mind was somewhere else. Ji-hoon noticed. You're quiet, he said one night. They were alone in his office. I'm tired. Of what? Everything. He frowned. Are you unhappy? Jasmine looked at him. Really looked at him. I don't know what I am anymore. Ji-hoon stood, walked to her, pulled her close. You're mine, he said. That's all you need to be. Jasmine rested her head against his chest. His heartbeat was steady, calm. What if I want to be more than that? Like what? Free. Ji-hoon pulled back. His expression darkened. You are free. No, I'm not. You can leave this room whenever you want. You can walk the city. You can call your sister. You're not locked up. But I can't leave Seoul. No. And I can't leave you. No. Jasmine stepped back. Then I'm not free. Ji-hoon's jaw tightened. Is this about the FBI? Jasmine's heart stopped. What? Don't play dumb. I know they contacted you. How? Because I know everything. He stepped closer. Did you think I wouldn't find out? I didn't tell them anything. I know, but you thought about it. Jasmine's breath came faster. Ji-hoon, do you have any idea what I've done to keep you safe? Safe? You're the reason I'm in danger. I'm the reason you're alive. His voice echoed through the room. Jasmine flinched. Ji-hoon took a breath. The people I work with, they wanted you dead the moment you stepped off that plane. Do you know why you're still breathing? Because I claimed you. Because I made it clear that anyone who touched you would. Answer to me. You think you're trapped? You're protected. I didn't ask for that. You didn't have to. He turned away. The FBI can't help you. If you cooperate, I'll know. And even if they arrest me, my people will find you. And they won't be as kind as I've been. Jasmine's voice broke. Kind? You call this kind? Ji-hoon turned back. His eyes were cold. Yes, because I could have done so much worse. The words hung in the air, heavy, final. Jasmine realized then. She'd been playing a game she'd already lost. That night, she called Agent Park. I can't help you, she said. Ms. Carter, if I testify, I'm dead. If I stay, I'm trapped. But at least if I stay, my sister is safe. We can protect her. No, you can't. Not from him. So you're just going to give up? Jasmine looked out the window, at the city that had become her cage. I'm choosing survival. That's not survival. That's surrender. Maybe, but it's my choice. She hung up, and for the first time in months she felt something close to peace. Not happiness, not freedom, but clarity. She knew who Ji-hoon was. She knew what he'd done. And she knew she was choosing to stay anyway. Not because she loved him, but because leaving would cost more than staying. And in the end, survival was all she had left. The weeks after the FBI call were different. Ji-hoon didn't mention it. Neither did Jasmine. But something had shifted. He was gentler, more present, like he knew how close he'd come to losing her. And Jasmine. She stopped fighting. Not because she'd given up, but because she'd found a strange kind of rhythm in the chaos. She attended his meetings, smiled at his dinners, slept in his arms at night, and somewhere in the middle of it all, the line between captivity and choice blurred completely. One night, lying in his bed, Ji-hoon asked her a question. Do you regret coming here? Jasmine thought about it. Really thought. Yes, she said. And if you could go back, would you change it? She turned to, look at him. I don't know. Why not? Because I don't know who I'd be if I hadn't. Ji-hoon smiled, sad. You'd be free. Maybe. But I'd also be alone. He pulled her closer. You're not alone now. No, she agreed. I'm not. And that was the terrible truth of it. She wasn't alone. She was trapped. But she wasn't alone. And in Ji-hoon's world, that was as close to freedom as she'd ever get. If this story found you when you needed it, pass it on to someone searching for theirs. Hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. Would you have stayed or risked everything to run? Because sometimes survival looks like surrender. And sometimes the cage is the only place you're safe.